Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Decks of the Weekend. Every Monday, I do this video in which I say what happened in the weekend, covering the most popular formats, starting with Modern, and then covering some arena formats, especially this weekend since the Kamigawa Neon Dynasty Championship happened last weekend. But let's still begin with Modern, because Modern, it's still the most popular format on the channel, and I want to start off by saying that Larry's band changed something. There's a little less Grixis Shadow decks in the top 8, but the PTQ with 395 players happened on Sunday, and guess what? This deck right here won it for that Shadow for Murktide region. If you watch my past video last week, I played basically this deck, and I have been very, very underimpressed by Murktide. There's a big change that Ari Zax did, and he added Consider over Straight Wraith. Straight Wraith underperforming for him, so he said, you know what, I'm gonna have instead Consider to increase the count of just Spells in Graveyard for Murktide. Unclear if that's still the way to go, but definitely a way that worked for him, getting the sweet invite for the next Arena Championship with Grixis Shadow, so that's definitely not dead. There's also been other versions of Shadow that performed in the weekend, one of which features the Straight Wraith, but no Murktide. So that's definitely another way to go. 17 lands on that one. Yeah, Season Pyromancer, Leon the Veil are also some cool cards in the sideboard. Now that you don't have the Lur's Companion, you can play 3-drops again. And you see here Liliana of the Veil in Season Pyromancer over Liliana of the Last Hope, Idezugu, Who Consumes All, and etc. So this is the deck that won the PTQ. Team Rhinos won a challenge on Saturday. This deck also greatly benefit from Laris being dead, because this deck had a terrible matchup against Grixis Shadow. And while I don't say the Grixis Shadow is dead, many Grixis Shadow player, I think, will now move into Izzet Murktide, in my opinion. And Team Rhinos had a slightly positive matchup against Izzet Murktide, but was not very good against Shadow, mostly because Drawn in the Lock, but mostly the Discourse spell that were very, very good, on top of just having an unbeatable 1-mana 6/6 or 7/7 for your Rhino token and just your damage-based removal spell. So Team Rhinos is a deck that I think is going to greatly benefit from Lurs being dead. Let's go to Arena now. Let's begin with a format that, I've often mentioned it, how little was popular, the Alchemy format, but I personally think that many people loved it. The top 8 was Alchemy, and they had good numbers. The metagame was greatly balanced, mostly because it was totally unknown, so people didn't really know what was going on. For example, the Elikasis winning the event with Black-White Venture. He had recently nerfed Triumphant Adventurer, a 2-mana 2/1 Death Touch per strike. That's a combination, let me tell you. As well as Precipitous Drop. These two cards were recently nerfed in a positive way, not just in a negative way like we are used to. And they are in the deck list of the winner. So this is definitely a cool thing of Alchemy. Most of us, or at least me, were expecting some buffs of cards that didn't quite get there. So it's cool to see that the mechanic dungeons, the mechanic deep into the adventure in the dungeon got some playability on the constructed format, with Elikasis winning the event. This list comes from Alchemy, of course. Let me show you a little bit of how that top 8 went, because the Alchemy format was really wild. We had Jim Davis, which was part of my team. My team came up with 2 decks, Mono White and Grixis mid-range. The Mono White deck aiming at Naya Runes, which was the biggest underperformer, with only Shuei Nakamura coming in 13th place on the behalf of his 8-0 record in Historic with Azorius Yori, and only 3-4 record with Naya Runes. So yeah, this deck was definitely the flop of the event. It was the most expected deck coming in, and the metagame was prepared. Every deck had exile effects such as the the Wandering Emperor or Skyclave Operation and so on and so forth. We also have Esper Clerics, Jeskai Inata, Mono White, Mardu Midrange, so very diverse and healthy alchemy format. We'll see what's gonna happen if there's gonna be some more buffs or nerfs in the format, because that seems like the trend. Historic, of course, also very diverse. Izzet Phoenix was the most popular deck, but only featured 2 copies in the top 8, and they actually played a very different version. Both Elike Assis and Brent Voss working in the same team, they came up with a splash in the sideboard for Idezugu Ukonsumzol to have an edge against the food matchups, which was definitely great for them, as I played, I also played the Phoenix, but I didn't do well at all in the event because I went 2-1 in Alchemy, but 0-3 in Historic with my Izzet Phoenix. I got paired against 2 black-green food. That matchup is bad. I also lost against the Jeskai Control. That matchup was very close. I lost 2-1, but the black-green food match isn't great. I was hoping that my Pithing Needle would carry. They didn't. And the Idezugu probably was the way to go if you want to build Izzet Phoenix in Historic. But the deck that I want to feature is the one that Jean-Emmanuel Deprat did well with, and it's the blue-white artifact. He actually went undefeated in the event with it. Let's take a look at the deck, because it's definitely something. We're playing a lot of Modern Horizons 2 cards here. Without them, the deck wouldn't exist. We have Esper Sentinel, Nedosis, and Thought Monitor, as well as, of course, Karnstein of Urza, which is your, like, Urza Saga type of card. New card, big deal, is Moonsnare Prototype. This is the Springleaf Drum that Arena needed to give more speed to play your Urza/Urza Saga type of card. That's Karnstein of Urza. Treasure Vault, of course, it's your Darksteel Citadel, but yeah, very cool deck with a couple of Reckoners, Bankbuster in the side. So yeah, Ingenious Myth powering up the deck, of course, just some sweet card advantage, but this deck was definitely the deck that I was not expecting to see in the top 8, played by a world-class player in Jean-Emmanuel Deprat, who from France qualified for Worlds with 2 unconventional choice, this and Jeskai Inata. But yeah, a lot happening this weekend. The coverage was very cool. I had a blast practicing for the event. Came up with the open team that the Wizards of the Coast even made a meme tailored for me. So that was very cool. There, you can check it on my Twitter. That Magic Esports had a decklist worth testing for. House of Mengucci, coming from, of course, the movie House of Gucci. Our teammates Eli Loveman and Jim Davis, definitely the most familiar faces. But we had, so basically I did this open team in which whoever was qualified for the event could join, willing to test, of course, could join, and these are all the people in the team. That was very cool, and I'm gonna do it again for New Capinna and the House of Mengucci. The team was called Open Team, but they decided to go for this other name, which was cool. But yeah, seeing Jim Davis triumphing, it was amazing, and a couple of other people did well. But yeah, that was definitely a very achievement of mine. Despite not making day 2, I'm happy to have done something for everybody in the team. That's it for me this week. I'll be back, of course, next week with the decks of the weekend. Next Monday with the decks of the weekend. Actually, it's not going to be next Monday because this weekend I'm going to be in Berlin to shoot some videos for Card Market. So I'll be back I'll fly back in Italy on Tuesday, so I'll try to record the decks of the weekend on Tuesday. So instead of on Monday, it will be the following day. But, the content doesn't stop here. I'll make sure to have a video come out every single day. I'm going to focus a lot more on Modern. I think there's a lot to explore in Modern now, so it's going to be fun. Yeah, have a great week, everybody, and thank you for watching as always. And like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do. Always helps the algorithm. Goodbye.